Welcome to the PAC Sports Network halftime show as we're now joined by Saint Vincent women's basketball senior guard, Emily Cavacini. Emily, first off, thanks so much for joining us today. I know that you guys have had a kind of an up and down season so far, but still making that push towards the playoffs. What have been some of the takeaways from the season up until this point?
I think honestly, the main takeaway we've been going at is just growing every single day that we can. Obviously, like you said, we've been up and down this season. A lot of close games that we probably didn't want to be losing, but you can only grow from them and learn from them. And our coach always has a saying, experience is what you get when you don't get what you want. So we just been really focusing on that, focusing on growing every day that we can, and just honestly trying to do what we can to win games by just 1 point. So
Well, definitely a great mentality to have, kind of take it one step at a time and not biting off more than you can chew. But let's get into your career because I'm curious to hear just how we kind of got to the point that we're at today. So, what was it about St. Vincent Bearcat basketball that ultimately led you to wanting to commit there and continue your career there?
yeah, what's actually crazy is I was between here and another PAC school, but what really brought me to St. Vincent is like the family aspect. The minute I met Coach Jimmy, I knew it was something like fresh. It was something new. I knew he was going to be able to teach me so much more than I had already like learned from basketball. But he teaches more than just basketball. He teaches life lessons, and that's something like I will always remember even after St. Vincent. But mostly it was the family aspect and just the way that he coaches and plays. Obviously, I'm a fast tempo point guard and I like to play that way, and that's the way he likes to play. So it was definitely those two things that brought me to St. Vincent.
It was definitely a unique first year for you with St. Vincent because the season's overshadowed by the COVID pandemic. For you, just being new on campus with your basketball season going on, and then you have this huge pandemic going on as well. What was that whole season like for you? And how would you, sum it up if you could into like a sentence or two of just what that year was like?
Honestly, it was kind of crazy. Um, that year we didn't really know what was going to happen. We didn't know if we were going to get shut down one day and then not be able to play the next. So when that year we just really focused on taking every day as it came to us and taking every opportunity we could get and only playing 10 games. It was honestly a stressful 10 games because going into it, we only had 10 practices before our first game. So we didn't have any preseason, nothing like that to be prepared. So we had 10 practices and we were jumping into our first game. But um, even with just playing 10 games, I'd have to say that season was really special. Being able to win a PAC championship that year, yeah, it was only like half a season, but I don't think people realize how much we didn't get to prepare going into that season for all the teams. So it just shows like what kind of things we can do as athletes to just be able to get ourselves to that level to be able to compete in that way without having all the experiences that we usually would have for a regular season.
Well, I'm glad you bring up the PAC championship you guys secured that season because I'm sure it meant a lot to you winning it, especially with what was going on kind of on the outside world. So, how much did that mean to you as a freshman, but also your entire team, just knowing that you came into the year not even knowing if you'd have a season, and here you guys are at the end being crowned champions?
Mm. It was really special to win that one. Um, it was special because you don't realize like how much we take for granted. And that year it just showed it. It was special for me, especially as a freshman. We had a small team that year, so I was just thrown into it as a baby freshman, still learning my way through college basketball. But you realize how much you can grow in just one little bit of a season, and that is what that year was for me. It was a growing experience for me. I had amazing seniors that year, like Jenna Lafco and Carly Kilgus, that helped me lead that, like helped me grow it to who I am now, and that whole year was just special for us to be able to put all the work in that we did and to come out as champions that year. It was definitely a huge thing.
Well, you took all that success you had as a freshman and carried that with you into your sophomore season, had a huge jump in your production overall. What do you think developed the most or maybe improved the most in your game from that first season as a freshman to then that second year as a sophomore?
I would say my IQ of the game developed a lot more, and then my leadership growed a lot. I when you are a freshman, obviously you have a lot of people that are leading the way for you. You have a lot of role models going into that sophomore season. I was named a captain and it was like time to like grow up and learn more. So that's the experience I had to take on, is being that leader, even though I was young, being that leader that my teammates could look upon and grow from. But my IQ of the game had to change so much more, realizing that I was going to be playing a lot more than I was freshman year. So, but Coach Jimmy definitely helped prepare me for that. He still does to this day. But yeah, I think my IQ and just my leadership were two things that definitely took a step up going into my sophomore year.
Well, like I said, you had a great year on the hardwood. Your team did not have the same success as you had your freshman year, but you get your redemption last year being crowned champions again. Not many people, at least that I can think of off the top of my head, that are two-time PAC champions. So how did that feel, and what did that mean to you and to your team to be crowned champions again, and not only that, but do it as upperclassmen with more experience and having all of those years now under your belt?
I think what was the most exciting about it was being the underdogs in the story. We came in obviously not ranked very high that last year because of what we did sophomore season, but we realized we were a completely different team and we had so much more experience going into last season, and just being able to have the season that we did, and honestly just to host that championship game here, it was an experience that honestly I'll never forget in my career. Just being able to play in our own gym, having a sold out crowd with over 1,000 people in this gym. Um, it's an experience that not all players get to have, and I'm happy that I've gotten to have it, obviously. Um, but it was definitely special because we got to show what Bearcat basketball was truly about, because sophomore year we didn't get to, but last year we truly showed everybody like what we could do as a team and how we could win it all. And you don't realize how special it is until it actually happens. So after winning it and then going to the national tournament after, I mean, that's an experience that every player could want. And I'm just happy that me and my teammates last year got to truly experience that all together.
Well, I know at the end of last year, you also got a little recognition individually, being named an all-conference performer, which I'm sure you were very excited about. What did that mean to you to be recognized for that, especially with just how much you've improved over your career, going from your freshman year being thrown in the fire during the pandemic season to now being a seasoned veteran a guard in the PAC?
It was definitely a really special moment for me. It just shows how much, and this could be for any player, it shows how much if you put the work into it and you try to grow every day and try to become a better player, like what can come out of it. And it's always something I wanted to do. Just in high school, I just always wanted to play college basketball, and to be able to grow and become one of the like top players in the conference last year. It was an awesome moment because it just showed how much work I put into it and how much dedication that I just wanted to do for this team. And that's what honestly made it special. It just showed what I can do as a player, and that's an awesome thing to do.
Well, definitely a well-deserving honor for you, and obviously being now a two-time PAC champion. Not many people can say that's happened, so a very cool thing for you. But Emily, it's been great to have you join us for our PAC halftime show. Before we let you run, want to hear from you. What do you think it could be, or what do you think it will be, that will get your team back to that title position and ultimately have a chance to be a three-time PAC champion?
Well, obviously we have 2 games left. We're sitting somewhere that we don't want to be, but obviously there's still a chance we can make it. But honestly, just buying in together. Us as a team, we've constantly been saying this year that we just need to buy in. We need to be great teammates. We need to do the little things and just keep growing and keep taking every day as we get it. And that's what we're going to do going into this last week of regular season and see what happens. But I think as long as we buy in and we truly do the little things and we focus on what we need to do, I think you could possibly see a chance of us running in the playoffs and possibly making a run to it again.
Well, we're definitely excited to see the end of the season, how things unwind for you and the Bearcats. Again, Emily, thanks so much for stopping by, and good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.
That's senior guard for Saint Vincent women's basketball, Emily Cavacini. Don't go anywhere, as we'll have more action of today's game in the second half coming up next, right here on the PAC Sports Network.